In Marinette County are investigating the shooting that left 2 people dead Sunday evening. Police say they received a call that Erica Noble of Crivets was shot multiple times on South 5th Street in the town of Stevenson. That's about 10 miles southwest of Crivets. They say although she was able to initially get away with someone else, she later died from her injuries. Now, when deputies arrived, they believed that the suspect, Troy Noble, was still armed. Officers and crisis negotiators set up a perimeter at his house. After failed negotiations, police say Troy came outside and died by suicide. The case is still under investigation. There is no ongoing danger, though, for the public.